This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
There. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. There he is.
Yeah.
How you doing? You doing good?
I'm good, man. How are you? You hear me okay?
I hear you good. You hear me
Nice.
fine?
I do. I'm on my wife's AirPods because I lost mine. So this is a work in progress, but we're making it happen.
Okay. All right. First of all, tell me a little bit about what's going on with Baker, because how in the hell do they move Baker? The suspension maybe with, of course, with what's it
Deshaun
called?
Watson, right?
Yeah, with Watson. But this is not a guy that's handled these kind of situations. Is he going to compartmentalize to understand, well, this is my last chance to kind of prove my worth? Or is he going to be, an a-hole about the whole thing? So how does he handle this whole thing? Because I know it's not easy for him.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's not easy. None of this is easy. And, I think for Baker Mayfield, it's pretty clear that this is not what he intended. This is not what he thought his future was going to be. But, this is reality. And I know he's obviously upset about, the Browns trading for Deshaun. They told him that they would explore quarterback options. But I think when the Browns were out, everyone thought that it was going to be Baker, and it was going to be Baker. So I think he's frustrated with the about face. Unfortunately, that is, sometimes reality in the NFL, and he wants to be gone. The problem is, as of right now, the only chance he has, barring an injury, I mean, the Browns could wait for an injury for training camp, but barring an injury, his only chance to start on a football team might be for his own team. So I know its relationship is not good. I know it's not in a good place. I know they got to fix it, but I really do wonder, is it better for him to stay in Cleveland, start 4 games, 6 games, 8 games? We have no idea. And then kind of remake his career like that.
I wonder how he's going to handle the fans, the media reaction, all that kind of crazy stuff, the national reaction to all of that stuff. I mean, do the commercials continue? More importantly, Ian, do the commercials continue? I
mean, I would say, of all the Baker Mayfield things, that commercial blitz probably had as much to do with the public souring on him as anything, right? Because even before he kind of was like a superstar, even before he had really made it, he had endless commercials, and it was on all of our channels. It was on ESPN, it was on NFL Network, it was everywhere sports were. So sports fans saw Baker Mayfield so much. And I think at some point people had Baker fatigue, and that, contributed to the public going like, ugh, like enough of this guy. I would say though, we all, media, public, seem to have forgotten how good he was. Like 2 years ago, he led one of the worst franchises in the NFL to the playoffs. That is an important thing. I know it feels like ancient history, but that is an important thing. And I really do think Baker has a bright future. I don't know where it's going to be.
It's funny because we get into these discussions, right? And while I sit here in South Florida, well, I'm in Vegas now, but defending Tua all the time because I'm so pissed at the disaster that was that coaching staff and the offensive line, and you can't measure the kid, and I got to fight with people about this crap. And all I ask for, and all I tell everybody is, give Tua what the Saints have given Taysom Hill and Winston, or give what Kirk Cousins has in Minnesota, or what Matthew Stafford has with the Rams. That's all I'm asking for Tua. Give him a line, give him a running game, and give him an offensive mind. And let me see what he can do after that. He's got that now, hopefully that line and everything will be built. But that's what Baker had. Baker had the best running game in the NFL, dude. He had good weapons.
Didn't have a great receiving core. I think Odell, Odell's history has sort of been rewritten. That was not a good situation in Cleveland.
Right.
His father was posting social media videos destroying Baker. It was not good.
No.
And they were supposed to be friends. So he had great running backs, great offensive line, not great receivers. But you're right. I mean, he had overall a pretty good situation. And that's sort of my problem. That speaks to what you're talking about, though, is like they still have that. So if they need a starter, wouldn't you rather it be Baker than Jacoby Brissett? Doesn't that make more sense?
Trust me, I know. I got a dosage of brisket here down here for a little bit, and it's not a good one. So it's just an odd situation. All right. So after all the stuff that went on with DK Metcalf, looks like everything's going to get worked out because he comes out and says eventually we'll get something done with Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, I never got the sense that DK Metcalf wanted to go anywhere, right? And I think for Deebo Samuel does. AJ Brown was more of, I think it was more like I need to be paid what I'm worth. Okay, like, are you sure the Titans are not going to do it? Really, really, they're not going to do it? Okay, fine, I'll get traded somewhere to get the money I deserve. I think that worked out well for him, no doubt about it. But I think he probably didn't want to go until it was time to go. DK Metcalf, to me, has certainly wanted to stay, wanted to finish it out in Seattle, wanted to get paid there. My sense, just like him, is that it will probably get done eventually. I just don't know when that's going to be.
Can I play a little devil's advocate here? Maybe because
Sure.
I'm a little cynical. There's a part of me that says the Titans also said, we're only riding this quarterback for one more year, and then we've got to let him go. So we got to find a new one now, and it may be a young guy. Why the hell are we going to pay A.J. Brown for the next 4 years when we might end up developing a quarterback over the next 2 to 3 years? That doesn't make any sense. Let's let him go, draft a new guy, and then eventually that new guy will be developing with that new quarterback that's coming after Tannehill is released in 2022.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that devil's advocate, but I would say if you're going to develop a new quarterback, look, maybe it's Malik Willis. We have no idea, right? I think that was one of the more fascinating draft picks was the Titans saying, you know what, third rounder for Malik Willis. Not only are we going to do it, we're going to trade up to do it. So maybe he becomes the guy. But I would say if you're going to develop a young quarterback, you want to give him as many weapons as humanly possible. So to me, you probably want A.J. Brown, but what you talked about is an issue, like a real issue.
Well, but let me follow up with this.
Go ahead.
Any shot that this is Baltimore part 2? They look at Malik and going, well, the guy we got doesn't get us over the top. We have a running offense. We've got the monster back there. I don't even know if they brought Foreman back. I'm not exactly sure, but
no, he went
they did it. Okay, so you only have one of the monsters left.
Right.
So all of a sudden, you start getting Malik into a type of Lamar Jackson offense with Derrick Henry and that line going downhill. I don't know. Maybe that's what Tennessee is thinking, going, yeah, the traditional way isn't working. Why don't we try the Baltimore way?
Maybe. We don't know, but I wondered that too. And I think, for Tennessee and Ryan Tannehill, I think he has been great for them. Playoff performance was not good, obviously. And you sort of wonder, where is this going to go? And they drafted a guy who some people thought was a first rounder, not all, but some people. And so Malik Willis doesn't have to play this year. I don't think there's going to be a lot of pressure to play him. They're going to be a good team. So then it's like, maybe he becomes a first-round prospect and awesome. Maybe he just becomes the backup. I would say either way, it's a good draft pick for the Titans because you have an incredible lottery ticket. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. If Malik Willis is the first-rounder that everybody thought, who just happened to go in the third round, life becomes very easy for the Titans. Move on from Tannehill probably next year or maybe the year after and go, all right, we're good for the next 10 years.
Dude, third round is where you take a quarterback project. So I have no problem with a guy that has first round ability. He may not be a first rounder in a quarterback sense, but in ability sense, that's the part you can't teach. So now you try to, polish that coal into a diamond. All right, so walk us through this whole Deebo thing. Does he want to play the role or does he not want to play the role? We hear all kinds of stuff with all of it, because the part that's kind of screwed up is I wouldn't trade for him if he doesn't want to play his role, because I don't know who you are if you want to play traditional wide receiver. So how the hell am I going to give up all these picks and give you that fat, signing bonus? And then all of a sudden you're going to play a role that I don't have any film on you doing that. So,
right. Well, I mean,
what's real? What's Memorex?
He was successful last year as a receiver. He just wasn't as successful. I would say as a receiver, just a receiver, he had 1,000 yards last year, was very good. As a wide back, as they called him in the Pro Bowl, he was one of the best players in football.
Right.
It's sort of like he's like either 90%, which is awesome, or 100%, which is amazing. There definitely are some questions about that, and that might be why the offers that came in for him weren't quite what the 49ers had hoped or wanted or would have accepted, because teams were like, all right, like, we will trade for you as a receiver only, but if you're not going to play that wide back spot that made you one of the best in the game, your value goes down a little bit. And like, that's okay if he's not going to get 15 carries a game. If he doesn't want to, that's okay, but it probably changes some things as far as just what his overall value is.
All right. I don't know if you and I spoke about this, but I keep trying to tell the Dolphin Nation this. They're not going to get Deebo Samuel at this point. It makes no sense for them. But here's what I keep telling everybody, and the Eric Uzukama kid that they just drafted in the second round adds to it. Chase, Mostert, Waddle, Tyreek, Cedric, Ian, the fullback. I'm forgetting his name. Ingold.
Right.
All of these guys are going to play the Deebo role. That's how. When I watch Mike put together this offense, he's putting together all these pieces, and some of them will do the Deebo things. You won't have Tyreek and Waddle do the stuff in between the tackles and all that kind of stuff. You're going to have Ingold. You're going to have Chase. You're going to have the big kid, Eric, that you just got, maybe Cedric. Those are the guys that are going to do that kind of stuff. The bubble stuff, the slants, all that stuff. Those are the guys that are going to do it. I think McDaniel brought over Deebo Samuel, but I think the Dolphin Nation hasn't realized that it's in piecemeal. It's all over the place.
Yeah, and I think that's more normal. I mean, that's one reason why Deebo is what he is and such a superstar, because it's very rare to have one person do these different things. I mean, this is not a normal role in the NFL. This is not a normal position. It's why he's such a unicorn, right? Because, you don't see it a lot. But, yeah, I mean, what, Miami's going to do is – and when you're putting together a roster, it's never perfect. So you never get all the pieces you want, which is why you see the creativity of guys like Mike McDaniel and Kyle Shanahan, because they take what they have and they make the best of it. They put them in great positions and they're successful. So you don't have one Deebo Samuel. That's okay. You can have several, play different roles and several different pieces, do several different plays. And, none of it matters, because as long as you can put different guys in place to succeed, you're still going to be productive.
All right, one more thing before I let you go. Hugh Jackson, the NFL investigation led to no findings whatsoever. Meanwhile,
Shocking.
Flores and his lawyer want to avoid arbitration. Walk us through what's going on here. Will the NFL get their way? Because kind of the way it's been talked about, if it gets to arbitration, it's going to be really to the league's benefit overall.
Yeah, I would say, first of all, with the Hugh Jackson thing, not a surprise. I don't believe he helped them. I don't think he cooperated with the league. I didn't talk to anyone who honestly believed anything he said. I mean,
I'm not surprised, dude.
Hugh Jackson is who he is.
You follow this league enough, you kind of know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you sort of know. And I think, by the end of his time in Cleveland, everybody knew what he was. Right. So, claims were unsubstantiated. Okay, like, whatever, move on.
Credibility shot, whatever.
Yeah, he's never coming back. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But as far as the Flores thing, I mean, the reason that they would like to avoid arbitration is they would like it to be public. They want to bring transparency to not just this lawsuit, but the entire process. That's been one of their goals. Talk about what they want to do. Part of it is open everything up, lay it all out on the table. Let's make this process better. I definitely understand. I don't know which way it's going to go, But I do understand that one of the things they want to do is expose it all to the public, because when you unveil the curtain, then it opens things up and hopefully allows many eyeballs to improve the whole situation.
So what's your gut tell you? Does it end up in arbitration or not?
I don't know. There's not a lot of precedent for this. So I really can't guess. I could see arguments on both sides. But I think for the Flores camp, making this all public has a real lot of benefits.
Somehow I give the nod to the powerful lawyers of the NFL and not the friends of Brian Flores. Is kind of the way I go. All right, so you have it a mint julep, by the way, when you go to the Kentucky Derby?
I would have many mint juleps, I imagine. Multiple. I got
Is
my
this your
suit.
first time?
It's my second time.
Oh, okay. All right. So what kind of suit you wearing? You wearing something really
I got a light gray seersucker, some sneakers, a nice big tie. I got a whole thing going. It's gonna be. My wife's got a beautiful hat. We got all sorts of stuff.
Oh, you got her the hat. All right. There you go.
Well,
nice.
She got herself the hat.
Well, of course.
I said that sounds great.
She probably bought you the suit too, if anything.
I had a role in the suit. She helped, but I had a role in it.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. All right, my brother. Enjoy the Kentucky Derby. We'll catch up next week, Ian. Thank you, my man.
All right. Look forward to it, man. Take care. Thank you.
You got it. There you go. Ian Rapoport, baby.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.